I'm Jono, this is...
Jono. You said I'm Jono.
Good start. Start again, let's just fucking start. Good morning, or should I say good evening, because this is your first ever late edition of Beer and Breakfast due to South Yorkshire Police insisting we have an early kick-off. I'm Johnny, this is...
Jono.
As well as your usual two, we are joined yet again by the fabulous, the talented, the man himself...
The one and only...
Danny Aaron.
Good morning!
And we're here to walk you through your game day build-up, starting early this week.
Yes, it's like a Saturday night takeaway with Johnny and Jono.
I'll still be drinking for breakfast.
Yeah, well, no choice, have we?
Fuck Ant and Deck, this is your Saturday night takeaway with Johnny and Jono, which means there's a lot more carbs than alcohol. We've got a bumper show yet again for you this week, so coming up...
We've got the review from the Stoke game.
We've also got our recap from the loss against Millwall.
We've got the latest team news.
And Jono will also try and get on the board playing the Chief.
We've got this week's This or That.
And Danny will be back giving us another Submit a Song.
We've got previews from Blades fans.
We've also got the Dingle preview.
And we've got plenty more.
So, Stoke ReCap. Controversial on this one, because me and Robbo took some stick.
Yeah, well, yeah, rightly so as well.
What do you mean, rightly so?
Yeah, I don't know. You said we played bad and...
I didn't say we played bad, I said we played mediocre.
I thought we absolutely mullered them.
What, Stoke?
We mullered them.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think we played exactly the same as we did against Millwall.
They scored, run a play, and apart from that, I thought we were dominant from start to finish. Maybe 10 minutes after they had scored, they had a decent spell. But no, we deserved to win that match.
I don't know how we won it. And I know there's me, Danny Aaron and Robbo that seem to be the minority with that. But let's have a look at the stats. So we had 54% possession to their 46. I dare say a lot of that was probably in our own half.
Definitely, I'll give him that bit.
Had the exact same amount of shots on target.
Yeah, extra few shots off target, but I just think our chances were more clear-cut ones.
Well, the XG says that, 2.18 to their 1.59, for those of you that are up to date with your XGs and how important that is.
I'll leave you all with that.
Successful passes, 83%. We made 447 successful passes to their 365. Again, passing's not the problem. Keeping the ball doesn't always seem to be a problem. It's killer instinct. It's getting the ball forward. And we seem to be playing a combination or a mix between Barcelona and Arsenal from 80s, early 90s. Just knock it about like Barcelona do, but we're keeping it in his own half.
Yeah.
The problem is, unlike Arsenal, we're not 1-0 up when we're doing it.
I think Rob made a good point actually on Tuesday, saying we're playing like we did under David Weir, which kind of, because kept all the possession but did not with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see where he's coming from on that, and it is frustrating at times when they do go sideways and backways, and you just want them to go forward in a bit more higher tempo. I think if they do get that balance, and I think they'll be all right.
It's this argument, like, if people think we were the better team, that's fine. But there seems to be this camp of, you're wrong, I'm right, I'm wrong, you're right. If you think we were a better team, fine, awesome. The only reason we're discussing it is because that's what we're here to do.
Exactly. We're not going to agree on it every time.
Exactly.
Obviously, in the Stoke game, I said we played well. You didn't.
It weren't that we didn't play well, it's that we were mediocre, in my view. I just think that we're doing some things right, but the rest of it is just so bottom of the table.
Well, we are towards bottom of the table.
Exactly. The stats don't lie. But it's when people come on and they're like, oh, did you not gut it, game? Oh, you're blind? We're a better team, you cunt, and all that kind of stuff. It's just, what showed in that Stoke game that was different to the Millwall game, which we'll get onto in a minute? What was the clear difference? To me, it will bring in Didsy on later in the game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that one, definitely. More of an impact when he comes on.
Yeah.
And yeah, just shocking into Tuesday, to be honest with you.
Not just that, I think that if he starts a game, people suss him out. Where if they've dealt with one player up top, Sharpie, or God forbid we start with two up front.
You never know.
God forbid, fucking hell, it's almost as... did I say that in the Stoke game? I'm not just fucking tooting my own trumpet. Move to more than one up top and
You
we'll
did, and I mean, we looked a lot more dangerous, didn't we?
Yeah.
Obviously. And it worked. Dividends, 3 brilliant substitutions, a lot more pace, a lot more trickery up front, and they just couldn't handle it after then, and that was the game changer.
Yeah. Stoke were a better team than Millwall, but we beat Stoke and we lost to Millwall. So, to me, that comes down to the fact that, one, we started Dids instead of being an impact player. 2, I think it was strange because Stoke lined up to come at us a bit more. We probably played a bit better against Millwall than we did against Stoke, but the same old problems, we can't put it back at bastard net.
I think it's hard to take it from Millwall game. Man down as well. It could have been a different result, but before that...
Yeah, we were on top.
We were on top. We were the better side, even though we weren't up to much.
I'd say we were more the better side of the Millwall game up until the send-off than we were in the Stoke game. But to me, the performances were dead similar. The problem is we did at the start of the Millwall game what we should have been doing at the end.
So it's just against them teams that we should be beating. We're not beating, are we, I suppose? And then playing well against a decent Stoke side.
Well, speaking of Stoke, do you reckon the league position they're in, do you reckon they're well worth that?
Based on that performance now,
No.
definitely not. But they could be having an off day.
Well,
we played many teams on off days.
Oh, God, yeah. We had a whole Premiership season, right? Remember
I wish we played them nowadays.
Okay, now. But we'll have a look at the league table in a minute because I've got some points. It's a fucking weird league table.
That's not going to be updated, is it?
It is. It's updated because there's no Thursday or Friday game.
The Saturday games. It's a Saturday night. Oh, shit.
To me, Stoke look like a team that's where we are.
A mediocre mid-table championship side.
Yeah.
Which they have been for the past, well, God knows how many years.
That's just how weird this division's been. But moving on from Stoke, and something we did briefly touch on is one up front v 2 up front, which brings us nicely into...
Game of...
This or that.
So this is This or That, your favourite, Jono.
This is the best game I've ever played.
It's literally your highlight at week when we filmed this,
It is.
isn't it?
Although Chiefs are second, close second.
It is. Yeah, you're going to get on board this week?
Probably not.
We did talk about formations in the last video, and we had stick or twist of sticking with the foot. It's going to be a bit of a blend of that, because I think we need to delve deeper into one specific area. Look at the Stoke game where we won. We changed the game by making it more than one up top, and we won. Do we do what we did against Millwall and stick with that and hope that it comes good, or do we stick with one up top? I'll look to you first this week.
It's a similar question to last week's, and I said stick. Because I know that's what I was wanting to play, but
Yeah.
I'm going to have to twist because we did look a lot more decent with 2 up front against Stoke. But whether that was just an impact thing from substitutions and they'd already settled to 1 up front and couldn't cope with 2 up front, I don't know. But I would like to see 2 up front now.
Yeah. If we're going to go into it, I'm like you, I'm a bit torn on. I'm like you were last time out. I'm a bit torn now because 1 up front, we didn't look as dangerous, but it lulls Stoke in.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to see.
So when we made the changes, it had more of an impact. And against Millwall, we started with... I don't know, when you look at that formation, did start up front with Sharp, or were we behind him with Gibbs White? Did we play like a 2 behind? I'm not sure I quite...
We just had more men in box.
Yeah.
That was the thing. We had more men in the box and looked a lot more dangerous. And they just couldn't cope with that extra man up front.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they spent 60, 70 minutes defending 1 striker.
Yeah.
And it just, they had to change their game and they couldn't change it quick enough.
To me, based on that, I'm still going to say twist.
I twisted and practically just built up stick, to be honest.
I know. To me, how do I put this into proportion that people aren't going to start throwing shit at the telly or phones? I'd play Moose or Ndiaye up front with Sharpie to start. After 70 minutes,
Moose is not going to last 70 minutes.
60 minutes,
We can hope.
make the change for Dids. Or start with Dids, so they defend one way, and then when we've got 11 men instead of 10 men, bring in Musa and a change in strategy and type of player.
Type of player. We've got the quality to come on and change a game.
Yeah. If we haven't got the wingers we want, I don't think everybody seems to think that everything will change when we get wingers. I don't, because we still have the same strikers to supply it to.
Exactly. I don't understand this wingers bollocks.
If we're going to keep playing Slav ball, if we're going to keep playing the way we are, we need to be clever. And maybe that's not changing personnel for just like he's in form, he's out of form. We need to look at every game, every stat, every team attacks, and we need to be clever about it. If these are the players we've got at our disposal, we're good enough for a top 10 finish in Premier League, but in a specialist system when everybody were fit, then we need to stop being a bit more intelligent with the way we're playing football, and we need to stop making subs for man, and we need to start changing the system through the games. And that's how I see it.
I agree with that, yeah.
Of course, that's our opinion. That's our take on this week's this or that. But what's your opinion? Do we stick with one up front? Do we change it? Or do we stick as we have been doing? We want to hear your opinions. Get involved. Let us know. We're always happy to hear what you think. And we'll not shout you down if we think you're wrong. We'll just applaud the fact that you've got an opinion and you've got bottle to say it.
Exactly, and we might even give you a shout out.
We need to start doing that, really, don't we? But
yeah.
the fact is that we try to rush all this together. Every week. We get here, we set up, we start drinking and we forget stuff. And we've got a run order right in front of us.
No, we hadn't.
No, don't break the fourth wall. And it's live as well. Live TV, that's what does it to us. Yeah, it's because it's live, that's our excuse. Of course, that leads us into a more in-depth look at the Millwall game. We've touched on it briefly, and I don't want to stick on this one too much because it's a strange game. How do you judge it on having 10 men? I suppose we judge it by the amount of chances we missed.
One in particular.
In particular, yeah, it's hero to villain in space for a week. He'll never be a villain in my eyes. I love Didsy, David, Eddie McGoldrick to absolute pieces. But I do wish that the clinicalness he had in his first season for us would come back.
It looked like he did, I know.
Yeah.
I love him. He's just such a frustrating player to watch at times.
Yeah.
Some little flicks he does, when he does come off, he looks awesome. But I think 90% of the time it's just not going to work for him and ends up getting ball away. And then a miss like that, there's no excuse. In
Premier League, he linked everything up brilliantly. We looked a worse team we are, we weren't scoring goals, but other people were. Not many,
exactly.
But they were.
And it didn't really make any difference on him not scoring goals because he was always involved in goals.
Yeah.
So he was obviously adding to the team.
And the season before, when we had that fucking holy grail of Fleck, Prime Norwood, Duffy, Sharp and McGoldrick, everything fit into place. The fancy flicks came off, the ball went in the net. That is the legacy of McGoldrick I want to remember. I don't want to remember the legacy of McGoldrick missing shots every week. And to me, as much as I hate to say this, I still think he's got a part to play in the team. I'm not saying drop him forever. What I'm saying is he needs to be limited to games he can make a difference in.
Well, he'd not played for a while before Saturday's game and came on, looked a will beater. And then you started game after against Millwall and that's a shocker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he did have a shocker. I just think we didn't hit the heights of the week before, so that makes you look down on the performance.
I think it's just that miss that he missed, and
that taints you.
Yeah, it does. Of course, it does. It's going to because it's a goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah, he had a good game, all in all. Then we went down to 10 men, and it ruined it. But let's have a look at the stats and see what they have to say. But let's see if we can kind of construct a narrative of the game looking at the stats.
We had plenty of ball.
60% to their 40.
Looking at shots, very, very even. They had 2 more shots on target.
I think that says it all, doesn't it? Because Dids' miss don't class as a shot on target, does it?
No, it don't.
It's a better goal-scoring opportunity, but that affects everything. The shots on target, the XG, because it went so far over the bar.
I think the successful passes are irrelevant because most of them were in our half.
Yeah, I do put them on there for the fact that it is a good stat to look at. Because if we're making 75% successful passes, it's a shame they don't break that down into whose half they're in.
Well, have you not got a stat for that yet?
Have you tried scouring the internet for stats?
That's not my job, Paul.
Every single website's different. Of course, they had 1 yellow card. In my view, Morrison should have got a second and been sent off.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
Obviously.
And we'll go to our red card. It looked to dive to me, and he deserved what he got. It was stupid, idiotic, and I don't have no qualms over diving. For anybody who dives, for anybody who they play for, deserves punishing because it's ruining game.
It is, but at the same time, I wish we'd dive more.
In Premier League, I'd probably agree with you.
Not in this division.
I hate to see it.
Not in this division. This is meant to be a fucking blood and guts division. In the Premier League, when you have to fight fire with fire. But in this division, not many teams are divers. There's just a lot of bad tackles. And then players diving.
Rolling around like they've been shot.
Yeah. At first glance, I admit I thought it were a penalty. It's only watching it back that I've seen it work.
Yeah. I mean, this is why I just want to see them on TV and then they're getting interviewed. And just roll a clip and just say to them, why'd you go down like that when you've hardly been touched?
Yeah.
Just see what they say. But no, bleeding reporter's got their bollocks.
You know who else needs to stand in front of a camera every week? Referees who have a game like that. Because he was shocking. He was diabolical. As I said,
he had a
should have been sent
shocker.
off.
I mean, I have no qualms that he sent our player off. But
No, me neither.
it was,
no qualms about penalty neither, because it were click up. I don't think he wanted to get it.
Yeah, but yeah, some of the decisions were shocking, and he had to be consistent, and he weren't.
No, I'm not saying that's biased. There were a few times where it's like, I'm sure he's got a fucking fiver on Millwall, but he weren't particularly kind to them either, were they?
No, that's like.
At
the end of it, it's about some stupid survey. Yellow.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, this is just Janet from UK Broadcast.
Are you a recording or a person?
It's a person.
I'm a person, sir.
What are you selling me?
Recording. Sir, I'm not selling you anything. I just want to show the man.
And I want to know how big your boobies are. Yeah, referee consistently bad.
Yes, it was consistently bad. Didn't have big boobies. Oh dear.
Yeah, I think that's where we'll leave the Millwall one. We had a player sent off. They should have had a man sent off, but it were a worldly goal for
I'm ringing up on Olsen's fuck up. I thought it were a shocker. Shocker there. Fluke goal, alright, it were a bit of a fluke, but there's no way that should have been going in.
I think he's getting a lot of stick at the minute, Olsen.
Because he's an international keeper. I mean, he's got a great song about him, by the way.
He plays blinders for Sweden.
Exactly, and I think this is reason. I don't know. I think a couple of weeks ago they were on about why he's at Bramall Lane.
Sweden fans were.
Yeah, well, why is it? Because for that he needs club football, and he's not getting it where he's going from. And it's a tough league that we're in. It's one of the hardest leagues, and at the moment he's not pulling up any trees.
Let's go and see what Slav has to say and get some build-up from Gaffer.
Berger, how close is he to a return?
He still don't start working with us. He's out. We expect. I cannot give you any expectation, but I hope in next 10 days, in theory, can be with the team. George Baldock is training with the team and he's available for the selection for next game. Yeah, it's true. If he don't will be available for the game, is of course we try use some different player in this position, and that's it. I am working with one squad, 20 few players. People need to be ready in the football. You must be ready for different situation and different position, and that's it. I always think all the games is big opportunity for taking three points. Even last game where we stay without any point, and this is situation, and this is what I try comment to you about going step by step, and we will check at the end where we deserve be at the end of the season. Actually, right now, if we are deserve or don't deserve is less important, but I believe during the season it's always you can find some kind of the compensation, and you will finish it where you deserve finish the season. This is topic. All the us is under some kind of the pressure, and we need to living this kind of the life. It's in our hands is manage this kind of the situation. If it's fair, it's not fair. this life in the total without talking about the football is not especially so fair. No, it's simple. We know we are not enough good. We expect different start. This is what we do in this beginning of the season. Is enough good? No. This is simple like it, but we can do better. Yes.
We're going to briefly go through team news. We haven't had a major update yet, so obviously, as we know, Berger, Jack O'Connell, looking like probably still.
Jack O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell. Look, that's going to miss the game. Freezy might be back. Are you happy with that?
Neither here or there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, another one of them. No Morgan Gibbs-White.
Nope, that's going to be a big loss, but then again, I'm going to lose him after January anyway, so
yeah, might as well get used to it. Wolves have said that they don't plan on bringing him back in January.
Oh, I hope they stick to that word.
I think they're chatting shit. They'll bring him back. They'll think we can send him somewhere else. We'll send him to Fulham or West Brom.
They probably will, you know.
I know.
They can't send him to West Brom.
No. Need cheering up big time. We've got another submit a song with King Herod. This week is a song for Mr.
It's got to be Chrissy Bashams.
Take it away!
Fire and Geordie is all we need. He'll take us to the Premier League. Oh, Yusuf, do you know what that's worth? John Egan is the best on earth. Rock-hard Irishman's all we need. He took United to the Premier League. Can't dance.
So we move on to the Dingles. We always never know what to take with this one. We either go there and turn up and pull up trees and have an amazing game, or we turn up there and just turn off.
I think I've been 3 times now and everyone's ended in a draw.
Really?
Yeah.
So games where we switched off then?
I remember them scoring once in the last minute, and to be honest with you, they deserved to get that equaliser.
Looking at last 5 games that Dingles have played, let's get them up now. You can see why they are where they are, Jono. Do you want to read some of them out?
Well, you can see what's going to come like though, can't you?
Oh God, yeah.
Lost 1-0 away at Reading. What doing alright? Lost 1-0 to Millwall at home. We can't say no about that. Forest at the moment are on a up. They've lost against them 3-1. Blackpool away, and then a draw to Blackburn, which he's looking bad for them at the moment, isn't it?
It's not good reading, so of course we know what's going to happen. They're going to beat us. It's written in stars, isn't it?
It might be.
Every time we should beat them, they win. And every time they should beat us, we win. Every time it's a close game, it's a 0-0.
What are you going for this week then?
They're going to win 2-0. No, we're not doing predictions till the end. Cancel that. I never said that. I mean, to back that up, let's have a look at the head-to-heads that we've had. The last 4 games that we've had. Fucking hell. We all remember that one, 3-2, where we thought we were sending them down. We were at Fleck and Leon Clark, and then we ended up losing 3-2.
That might have been one we just got last minute. I might have been wrong about draw.
Yeah, I think it were.
Yeah.
They scored a last-minute winner.
Obviously, it's been a long time ago.
We beat them at home that season, 1-0. Before that, 0-0 and 1-1, where they were close games. Before that, it's not on the graphic, but I'll bring it up. Remember the Barnsley away, where we beat them? We were at Steve Davis, snooker player, and Jason Holt got goals. They were good times.
No, I can't remember that one.
I do remember that one. They were on like like a 3-month unbeaten streak. We were doing shit. We rocked up, beat them, went away, and they just had a stinker every week after that. They nearly lost out on promotion because of that. We're going to get more in depth into the game, but before we do, let's have a look at what our dedicated Barnsley fan has to say. Mr. Joe Beardsole from Red All Over. He's a good lad. I like him.
Sounds alright, actually.
Shame he supports such a terrible team. I mean, this is the other side.
Hey up to all the Blades out there, and thanks to the Shoreham View for inviting us to have a quick chat. My name's Joe Beardsall from Barnsley's U2 football show, Red All Over. Well, what can I say? Usually I'd love to give you a bit of stick and have a bit of banter and say we were going to do you 5-0 at Oakwell this Sunday, but gotta be honest, it ain't happening. First impressions of our season so far, horrendous to be honest, just really, really poor, sadly. Obviously last season finished 5th in Championship, we were buzzing, we got in playoffs and just missed out on the dream of the Premier League, which I know you lot have enjoyed your Premier League journey, and we were thinking, can we maybe replicate that, or at least, secure ourselves in mid-table. We know we're a team that always tend to find it quite difficult to stay in the Championship in recent years, so we were just hoping that all that momentum we got from last season would carry into this season. At the very least we'd be comfortable in mid-table. It hasn't happened. We got a new manager in, lost as captain Alex Mowerton. It's just been a very, very dark season so far. 1 win in the 13 league games we've had, and that was against Coventry, and that was only because Brad Collins, who our keeper is our best player at the minute, made a great penalty save and stopped Coventry from getting a draw out of that one. So yeah, been a really bad season for us. What can you guys expect from us this Sunday? Well, as I sit here recording this on Thursday, Marcus Schott, Barnsley's head coach, is still the head coach. He's not been sacked. So a lot of the problems, falling on his shoulders. A lot of the fans are wanting to see a change and feel that he's a big part of the reason we're not being successful. What can you expect from us? You can expect 3 points at this rate, I'm afraid. I think you'll get 3 points unless something drastic changes. It's not because we ain't got quality. We've got the quality players to do it. We've kept pretty much the same squad that we had last season and added a few. Yes, we've had a few injuries at the start of the season which have hampered us a little bit. But bottom line is we're just not playing right. We've not got a good structure. We're a bit all over the place. The Gaffer's changing players, he's changing, putting them in positions where they're not used to playing. It's just an absolute shambles at the minute. So the chances that you guys are going to beat not going to beat us is quite slim. I think that it's just not looking good. So that's what you can expect from us. A team that's at the moment are really all over the place and very much lacking confidence. My thoughts on Blades so far this season. Probably from an outside looking in point of view, a bit of what I expected, but I'd probably expected you to be a bit higher. I thought you'd probably have a little bit of a rough start. Obviously last season were a bit of a write-off, as I reckon most of you, would agree with that after what happened. But still some serious quality in that team, and I thought that maybe you'd take a while to bed in under new manager, and then after, when we got into this sort of period, you'd probably start kicking on and potentially get up there, and I'd probably add you down for a playoff place at the least. I still think that's possible, to be honest. I still think Sheffield United will have an half decent season, and then maybe next season's the year if you don't get promoted this year to kick on. But to be down I think it's 17th at the minute for you lads, that's a bit underestimations for me. I thought you'd have been doing a bit better because you have got some serious quality in there. Going on to my prediction finally, it's hard. My head's telling me that, to be honest, if we play anything like we did against Middlesbrough midweek, which was a 2-0 defeat, and they could have had 5 or 6, and Borough had a fairly average night, not even a great night, but they could have beat us 5 or 6-0 if it weren't for Brad Collins and a bit of poor finishing from them. I could easily see the Blades putting 5 past us and really embarrassing us. But I'm an happy clapper, as a lot of Barnsley fans know, and back in 2016, I think it was, under Lee Johnson in League One, we'd lost a lot of games. I think it was 8 games on the bounce, something like that, not too dissimilar to this current run. And then we played Sheffield United, got a 1-1 draw. It was a hard-fought draw, and that changed the season, and we went on to get promoted. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen this season, but what I'm saying is I'm going to have to go in my heart for this one and predict a 1-1 draw, which is quite a classic score in a Yorkshire derby, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, excited. Not really sure. More nervous, to be honest, Blades.
I think he's on a bit of a downer from how they've been playing. The Borough game must have knocked 10 shades out of him, really. Because one thing we didn't mention on that run-up is the fact that they played Borough since we put that graphic up.
They did, yeah. They lost 2-0 last night.
Yeah, lost 2-0. Yeah. They lost 2-0 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Definitely live. But how do you see game going? Because you already know my thoughts. I think because we're expected to get the results of how bad they're doing, it's a nailed-on loss. So how do you see game going?
I'm not confident, to be honest with you, at the moment, especially losing Gibbs White as well. So I am going to go for a 1-0 loss as well.
1-0 loss? Against predictions in earlier, we're meant to be doing that at the end, but fuck it.
I can say it again if you want me to.
I mean, they're not scoring many goals either, are they? I mean, if we bring up their player stats, all you have to do is look at who their leading scorer is. It's Carly Woodrow with 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good, but I think they will see this game now as one of these that we've been saying for the past months. It's a must-win for them.
Yeah, they're
looking at our form. They're looking at who's beating us. They'll think
we can do this. We can go into
United
this.
are in bad form, so this could be one for us. And rightly so, to be honest with you.
Word they'll be banding around is springboard game. One that could springboard them back into confidence. One that could get them going again. But we've got to look at it as the same. It's such a difficult game to look at because both sides will be looking at it the exact same way. This is one to get us going, and I've got more confidence that they'll have more fight and more guts for it.
Well, we'll find out, won't we? I'm looking forward to it, regardless result. It'll be a good day out.
There's not much more else to say, is it? We usually spend a lot of time dissecting the game. I mean, I don't see what we've got available. We've got players there that have loved the club, that seem to be getting downtrodden and ground into it. You've got Billy Sharp doing everything he can. That bloke's bleeding red and white and putting everything on pitch for us. But he's not got that backup in team.
No, and do you start him?
Yeah. Who else do you start?
Well, like you said, Muse on
his own.
If he's going to play that type, maybe not.
No, that's a difficult one. That actually, I'd like Sharp and Muse to start this game.
I would like to see them together. Yeah.
To start the game?
Yeah, I would like to see them, see how they go.
But somebody else come on after half an hour.
They're going to have to, aren't they? Probably hungover, bleeding Tuesday, that's why he didn't come on.
Exactly, we'll not go into that.
No.
Champs.
Saturday night.
Oh,
shots.
God. Shots. You know who I am? Anyway, do we start that game and go for it, or do we go out as though it's a stereotypical derby where we be calm and we're going to go out there cold and calculated and not get drawn into the emotion? Or do we have to go out there and have the opposite effect and go in there blood guts, knee-high tackles and kick them all up park?
To me, that. Go straight in, get an early goal, because an early goal for us, we'll be able to keep the possession well. Even if we're winning in his own half, I suppose is all right. And their fans will be very frustrated and it'll not look good on them if we get an early goal. And I think if we get an early goal, we could see a comfortable win.
See, a lot of people said this. You need to treat a derby game like every other game. And when Carlos said that for Pigs, it's like, we need to keep our heads in it. No, you don't. It's a fucking derby game.
We want to see
smash, blood, guts, thunder, death. Maybe not death, but just go out there and aim to smash fuck out of them. And that's what I want from this side, because that's one thing we are missing, this pretty tippy-tappy bollock football. But there's no real fuck it, let's have a go, is there?
I can't see that being the momentum either, so...
That's the sad thing, isn't it? That doesn't look like that's going to be the way we're going to approach the game. Let's see what Sheffield United fans have to say about this game.
A South Yorkshire derby then this weekend for the Blades. We haven't been able to say that for a while, have we? As we take on Barnsley away. And I don't know how to feel going into this one. Obviously Gibbs White missing is going to be a bit interesting to see who plays in that role and how we set up. But Barnsley nowhere near reaching the heights they reached last season under Ishmael, are struggling this season. Away from home, obviously it's still going to be a test, going to be a good atmosphere hopefully. Blades filling out that away end. But I'm slightly confident. That might be naive considering it's us and it's this season, so you never really know what to expect. But I am slightly confident that we'll get a result here. I feel like Corley Woodrow and a couple of other players offer a threat to us, especially physically, because obviously last season a lot of their success came from direct play, and that's taking nothing away from them. If it works, it works. And I used to really enjoy watching Barnsley last season. I thought they were direct in a different way. It felt fresh to watch. So it's going to be a difficult test considering that long balls through the middle have been our Achilles heel defensively for what seems like 3 or 4 seasons now. So maybe that's something to watch out for. But we'll have to see how we set up. Does Muse come into the team? Even he's still not fit enough to start, is he really? But I can see him making an impact off the bench. Does Brewster come back into the squad now? Does McBurney get a game? Does Sharp keep his place? Does McGoldrick keep his place? I don't think anyone's really certain about how we set up, especially, Hourahan had half an hour that wasn't exceptional. in midweek, it's fair to say. So probably Norwood comes back into the team after a lot of calls to get him out of it. So yeah, I can't make a prediction about us at the minute in any game, in any sense of where we'll finish. Everything just seems up in the air, which makes this like 2 minutes of rambling. It just seems like a massive cop-out, doesn't it? But if I have to be forced to make a prediction, I'll go 2-1 Blades. That's being optimistic. Go on, Blades.
So we move on from misery at the hands of Millwall to yet another Yorkshire derby against Barnsley this weekend. What my thoughts and feelings going into this one? Well, before I talk about the Tykes game, I would like to briefly touch on the Millwall performance, or lack of, and what a strange and weird game that was, from the goals to the decisions. The first half performance from the Blades was really nothing short of embarrassing, lacklustre and lethargic, and just brings into sharper focus the real emphasis we place on Iliam Ndiaye and Morgan Gibbs-White, and Sharp, to be fair, up the pitch to create a spark. At times in the first half against Millwall it was embarrassing, no ideas, and Slavisa Kanovic rightly made a change before half time, bringing in Ndiaye on, and what a difference he made. Just his direct running. Before he came on, the midfield was stood like statues in front of the back four. But looking ahead to the Barnsley game, what can we learn from the midweek defeat to bring into this fixture? Well, like I say, Iliam Ndiaye has to come in, especially given the absence and the suspension of Gibbs-White, who, in my opinion, was rightly sent off. I think it was a bit of a marginal call, but really give the referee the benefit of the doubt. Less said about his overall performance, the better. So like I said, I'd like to bring in Iliam Ndiaye for the Barnsley game. See him given more a prominent role now Gibbs-White is out of the team. Obviously Barnsley coming to this fixture not on greatest form, but United do have a habit of being very charitable in these types of games, you know, giving people 3 points when they've been searching for it. But overall, I'm quite positive going into it. Call me crazy, call me stupid. I think it's going to be a United win. Sheffield United 3, Barnsley 1.
Right, so we're going away to Oakwell then. Looking forward to this one, looking forward to going. Good allocation after the initial disappointment. It sounds like trains are going to be quite busy, so make sure everyone sets off in plenty of time. If that's the way they're going, don't want to be missing kick-off, do we? Don't want to miss their first goal. But no, I know. Got to be upbeat about this one. I think we should win it. It's a good chance to put the Millwall defeat behind us, get straight back into winning ways. If we beat these, we beat Blackpool next week, then then you're looking at it and as 3 wins in 4, as opposed to 3 losses in the last 4. So we can only put it right on Sunday. I don't think we were terrible against Millwall, to be fair. I think a lot of it was taken out of our hands by some bizarre decisions. The referee losing the game, an absolute stunner from a centre half who we just need to buy. Just need to chuck any money at Millwall that we can just to buy him, at least to put him in our reserves so he doesn't score against us. But yeah, Barnsley aren't Millwall. They're really not looking good this season. They're looking quite rudderless since losing Ishmael last year. I don't think that they're managing to pick up the same playing style that they had then. I can't see how we lose it, but I suppose when it comes to local derbies, all form goes out the window and all manner of strange things can happen. Surely we can't have a third game in a row with a terrible ref. So it's got to all be down to us and how we implement Slav's game plan. Team selection wise, it'd obviously be nice if Sanderberg came back in, but it seems strange that he's been out of the team for so long. When he picked up just like a little niggle against Hull and precautionally taken out of the team, it just seems a bit strange that he's been out for so long. But yeah, without Gibbs-White it might be a bit difficult, but hopefully we'll start and hopefully Ndiaye can play a full 90. Yeah, it'd be nice to see Brewster come in and hopefully give us that spark that Gibbs-White usually gives us. Hopefully he'll see a chance there to get in. Yeah, Right back's obviously a bit of a problem with both going off, but hopefully Baldock will be back. But yeah, well, I mean, let's just hope for a win, really. Up the Blades.
Welcome to the Tufty Club's preview for Shoreham View.
It'll come that bit. I hope so. We've got to keep it below 4 minutes and no waffle.
Okay. Well,
although did you like bird's eye potato waffles? Do you remember them? They were good.
I do remember them. Very versatile.
Exactly. Like Chris Basham, exactly.
Another roller coaster week with United. Started well last week. Good win. Right, we're back at it. We're back moving up. And then, straight back down to earth on Tuesday night with a bit of a shit show.
Yeah, that's what this season is. I think we mentioned it. I think we probably mentioned it on this last preview, and we also mentioned it on the podcast. That's kind of what our season's going to be. I think we just
like Ronan Keating.
You just got to ride it. Just take his advice.
Yeah, he's a clever man. Just everything went wrong that could go wrong on the other night, wasn't it? Bad start. McGoldrick open goals, key man sent off, another player who was playing well subbed off, last minute winner. Typical United.
Ticked all the boxes, didn't it? With make best players unavailable for Barnsley. Nothing went right, did it? McGoldrick back to his vintage worst, unfortunately, rather than his best, and just nothing went right. And you forgot to mention the goalie as well. I think we mentioned it on the podcast and on the Twitters. Very Subbuteo, like you said, and got to agree. In fact, the team was Subbuteo-like. Shoreham played like he'd been trod on.
You truly, you couldn't my dad used to take the players after when we used to play with Dad was young, and he'd glue them together and he'd put them near the fire, but then he'd forget he'd put them near the fire and they'd melt. It's literally because obviously a plastic. So he was trying to get him to dry the base. And I've left it. His player just he died basically.
Killed him. And again, when they've snapped and you stuck them back together, they just got shorter and shorter. And that's very much like our team. It was. We always complain about this, but it was men against boys again, weren't it? Landed giants for them, and our snapped off, re-glued Subbuteo players. So we just can't cope with physical stuff, can we?
Well, we're 17th in the league, which, to be frank, is absolutely pathetic. Whatever excuses people make about pre-season, Slav, evolution and all this rubbish. I think we've got to question him a little bit now. I don't think that's unfair to question him a little bit. He's continuing to play the same way and keep playing the same way, even though he's not got the players to do it. And we're only going to be maybe bringing 1 or 2 in January. It's not going to massively change how they're playing. So I think he might have to look at how he's going about things in the short term, just to kind of get us moving up the league, really.
Is it a coincidence that you've just started questioning the manager as Nigel Adkins becomes available?
Well,
no, I agree though, not with getting Adkins, but he needs to look at what he's doing and change some of his methods, because we've said it before, he's shoehorning players into his system, and it's almost starting to click sometimes. But if Gibbs White and Dye aren't on it or aren't even playing because they're being sent off, then it just doesn't really click. We haven't got the players. Yeah, boring, that's the word. I could have just said that. He needs to cut this down to 4 minutes. Rather than saying all that, I could say it's boring.
Speaking of Adkins, he must have a mansion now, because his rooms for improvement on his current performances are enormous. Barnsley next. We're not going. I know that's really bad. We just talked about this before we came on air. It's like going live or something.
I know you can't see my bottom half, but I'm not coming on air.
They're in terrible form. Just had a little look at their stats. They've won 1 in 13 the whole season, although we've only won 4. They've lost 5 straight. They've not scored for 340 minutes. Lowest scores in division with 7 in 13. They all want the manager out. Delightfully named Marcus Shop.
Yeah.
So it's ripe for them to beat us.
That is, I mean, you're always going to say that anyway, because if they're on a run, you go, well, they're on a run, they're going to beat us. If they're on a really bad run, they do one. So you're always going to say that they're going to, but it does smell a lot like it, doesn't it? We've got our best player out. We've got, a couple out injured, obviously, still.
Smells like Tyke Spirit.
Smells like Tyke Spirit. It smells like something.
What is your prediction?
Well, I don't know. Derbies, I always predict a draw, and it's predictable that I predict that. But I think I might still 1-1 or 2-2.
I was going to say 1-1. That's what I was going to say. Two teams in pretty poor form. We've lost 3 and 4. So they've lost 5 straight. Yeah, I think 1-1.
Yeah, who's scoring? Old boy Oliver McBurney.
No, I don't think that. Oliver McBurney. I think it'll be Sharps. I can't think of anyone else.
Also predictable. Yeah, good.
Yo, Roy here. Just getting the pre-match view from camera's shaking. I'm not doing the dance or anything. From Barnsley. Honestly, probably the most depressing read I've possibly ever had on the view from. There is one bloke who thinks he might win. The rest of them think they're going to get hammered. Quite funny. It is quite a funny read, to be fair. They are absolutely rock bottom. You think we're at rock bottom? These are literally at rock bottom. If Derby haven't got the points knocked off anyway, but this is United, isn't it? And we know what United are like, especially this season. You know, Millwall I think they won 1 in the last 8. Obviously, they won. There's loads of games in the team. Middlesbrough, they were on a shocking run and they won. I don't think any Sheffield United. They seem to think we're going to be going into this with loads of confidence and stuff, but I'll be amazed if anyone is going into this thinking, yeah, we'll win this. This is one done. I've fucking got an horrible feeling about it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm massively wrong, but I just think that Barnsley are shit. There's no getting away from that. Judging by their record, I don't think they've scored in the last 5. They haven't won for 10. I think they scored 4. They've only got 4 goal scorers this season. I think they've only scored 7 all season. They're a shocking side this season so far. Anyway, I know it's still early, but Jesus, if anyone can lose, it's this team, innit? Don't know what I'd do with the team, to be completely honest. So obviously Gibbs White's out. The only thing I know is NJE has to start. Obviously, I thought we were the best player on Tuesday night, but I'm going to be watching this game like this. I really am, because I've just got an horrible feeling come Sunday evening. I'm going to be going on the Barnsley forum. They're all going to be going, "Oh my God, how did we win that? I don't believe it. Oh yeah." Don't let us down, United, for Christ's sake. I don't even think it's a big game in the sense because it's Barnsley or anything. I think if we lose this is the worst result of the season so far, because these are in absolute dire straits, and this manager might not even be there by Sunday. Just looking at what I'm reading at the moment. So yeah, just please.
I think, Jono, before we talk any more about the Barnsley game, it's time
for a game
of
The Chief.
This is The Chief. The rules are simple, yet cerebral, tactical and challenging. Anyway, it's your turn to go first, since I got the points last week.
Okay. It's one that I've been thinking of, just to throw you in there, and I'll see if you can find a picture of him. Ernest Needham.
Fatty Folks.
Bobby Ford.
Jimmy Egan.
Mitch Ward.
Peter Runlove.
Curtis Woodhouse.
Goose Ullenbeek.
David Unsworth.
David Cotterill.
Billy Sharp.
Tommy Mooney.
Sammy Carruthers.
Steve Simonson.
That's going back some bad memories. Jose Baxter.
Stefan Skugel.
Vazbe Bockus.
David Gishpretz.
Simon Tracy.
No! Wayne Allison!
We have a winner!
You were so close. You got so close. That was such a good game. I enjoyed that one. Jono, it's 2-0, mate. Before we kick in to talk more about the Barnsley game and get our final thoughts, let's see what else we've got coming up in
Blade Media.
Is it even a match day until you've been to Roy's View and seen the view from the other fans? To me and many others, it's a tradition that we love to uphold week in, week out. If you don't already, I'd start right now. I can't recommend it enough. At now, we've got the view from their fans pre-game, and of course after the game we'll have their reactions. If you're looking for an immediate reaction straight after the game, Nick over on the Sheffield United way will have you covered. Regardless of whether it's a win, loss or a draw, he'll be giving his verdict and letting us know the nitty-gritty of the game. Let's hope that he's got something positive to shout about, because we didn't have much after the Millwall game, did we? Of course, let's not forget that we are spoilt for choice with Sheffield United podcasts out there. We've got Blades Pod, Tufty Club and Four Blades in the Pub, all three amazing Sheffield United podcasts. Well worth a listen. I'd recommend them to anybody and everybody. Get on there, give them a listen, you won't regret it. Here on the Shoreham View, we've got every single vlog we've ever made, including Bouncing Day Massacre and many more highlights, available on one big playlist. Speaking of vlogs, hopefully straight after the game, but Monday for Mungover as always, we'll have the Barnsley vlog, hopefully reliving something special. Probably not.
Again, we are so lucky to have so many good Blades creators out there, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We are spoiled with them.
You should go listen to all the podcasts, watch all the creators, watch all the channels, go and read Roy's View. And there's ones that we haven't mentioned that I wish I had the time to get in there. And if I do get time to make more graphics, I will start including them all, because there's so many good ones out there that we're spoiled for choice. We're mediocre and we're just happy that you watch us. Speaking of which, there's 60% of these buggers that are watching and not subscribing. I'm saying it in the middle of the video this week. See if they're taking notice.
Exactly. Well, actually, a few subscribers have gone up. I did notice.
We have. We've broke the 6K mark.
See, they're listening. They are somewhere listening. The ones that have, but...
Final thoughts on this game, John. We've said our score predictions already. So, first of all, before we go any further, Danny, what's score going to be, pal?
1-0 to Blades.
Danny with the confidence. I think you're wrong.
Must be strong, that John Smiths.
we don't have it in us. We've got a few players that are fit for a type of derby game. I don't think we've got the same squad mentality as we had when we went out and beat Pigs at Hillsborough.
Oh, no, that'll take some coming back. I just think they'll be up for it a bit more. Unless we can get an early goal, I can only see them scratching a win.
Yeah. It kills me to say it, but that's truth, innit? That's how it is. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. It has been a bit of a ramrod through this one. We have glossed over a few bits and pushed it, but it's weird playing on a Sunday. It's weird playing on a stupid early kick-off. And it's weird when you're this down about a game. We should be up for a derby game.
Well, if this were filmed in between games, after the Stoke game, I think it'd have been a lot more upbeat.
Millwall did.
And then Millwall's just done us in.
Fucking Kev. Thanks, Kev.
Yeah, took over at Cop, didn't he?
Yeah, them kids were so confused. Is he putting on that accent? It's fucking good. Yes, despite my swearing, this is still a PG show. Think of it this way. This is a 15. And the vlogs are an 18.
Only a 15?
This is a 15, yeah.
I thought you'd gone for a 12A.
12A? Can you say fucking cunt in a 12A?
Beep.
I don't say it as often as I say it in a vlog. Let's put it that way.
Definitely not.
People who don't like swearing, my bad.
I try not to swear, just to be the one who doesn't swear.
I stand by the philosophy of people that think swearing is a lack of intelligence, or swearing is,
I like that, actually. I like that bit about intelligence, because I don't swear that much.
No, it's not. It's bullshit. People who think swearing is a lack of intelligence or vulgar need to grow up. It's part of our everyday vernacular, part of our everyday use of words. The fact that we're so shy and bashful about a country about it, it's the same as with sex. Go to Italy, We'll talk about ragging people up bum. You come here, it's like you mentioned the word buttocks and people blush.
We talk about shoving Toblerones up people's arse in our group chat.
That's not meant to be public knowledge, John. James loves a Toblerone. This has took a weird turn. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe.
I won't after that.
We'll see you at the game on Sunday. Up the Blades.
Oh, cheers.
Danny, thank you for coming on. See you later, mate.
Ta-ra!
Ta-ra.